What's going on, guys? So we just got through our live session on Stockmate, and now I'm going to share with you guys a hidden little known opportunity that is going to be one of the biggest profit potentials that I see throughout the entire elections. Let's get into it. So, a couple things here, and I'm already in this trade. We called out this trade, and I got into this trade this morning in our live session over on Stockmate. If you guys want to watch me trade live every single morning, feel free to go check out the second link in the description. It's Stockmate, and we have our best deal ever right now. What we're seeing here is a classic shift in interest from the United States. Guys, there's an article that came out in New York Times. I was reading it, I don't know, 1 a.m. last night because I couldn't sleep because it's such a big day today. That we could see oil prices go up, and there's a couple of reasons why. Saudi Arabia, which leads the group, appears wary of unsettling markets just before the US presidential election. So why? Well, Saudi Arabia and 7 other oil producing countries said on Sunday that they would postpone plans to gradually increase their oil output. What does that mean? Well, basically, these companies think they're going to get tariffs if we see a Republican president. What does that mean? Well, in the event that Trump gets elected, you could see that they don't want to have so much supply of oil that once they start getting tariffs on oil coming into the US, now they have all this supply that they have to get rid of, and they don't have a good way to negotiate. Whereas if they don't have a lot of supply and then there's tariffs and they decide not to they're not incentivized and they don't continue to put oil into the US, well, that means two things. The first thing is that they're going to be in a better position if they don't have a bunch of pent up supply. That's why they're decreasing their oil production. The second thing that could happen, and there's actually three things. The second thing that would happen is that we would see oil prices in the US become more of a interest. And as you saw, oil interest gave more than 75 million to Trump campaign, which means the oil moguls in the U.S. would be now producing oil for the U.S. inside of the U.S. So we wouldn't be relying on Saudi Arabia or what have you. We'd be producing inside the U.S. Now that would mean a huge uptick for U.S. oil because now there's going to be more money coming in, and that's the second thing, and the third thing is that when I was driving through Texas a week ago, oh my gosh, there was so much oil, um, these oil pumps, right, that were all producing oil. And I've driven from California to New Mexico many times because, well, I was born in Albuquerque and I grew up in California. And so I have family, and I'm actually visiting family right now on the trip with my wife from Miami to California. Anyway, I was appalled at how many oil rigs were moving this time when I drove through the Midwest. And usually a lot of the oil rigs are stopped, or there's like a few pumping, and they even have them pump slower when they're not, trying to have a huge supply. But I saw all of the oil rigs pumping a lot in the Midwest when I was driving through. And, you know, they say that some of the best ways to invest are the things that you see in real life, like your iPhone. Like Apple's a good investment, right? You might, if you see a lot of Teslas on the road, like maybe Tesla's a good investment. Like, those are things that we look at. So what I'm saying is that made me buy Oil U this morning in our live session, and I got a kind of later entry. We're up $53 so far, about 1.1% on this stock. And yeah, so what led to me purchasing and seeing this move? How did I anticipate this move? It's pretty simple. Again, we're trading fundamentals. We're trading that oil production in the US, no matter what, if we have Kamala Harris elected or if we have Donald Trump elected, it doesn't matter. The Saudi Arabians and 7 other oil producing countries have decreased their oil production because they're anticipating tariffs on their oil. So whether we have Trump or Harris, there's still going to be less of a supply of oil. We're still going to see oil prices increase and oil being purchased or sourced from the United States regardless. So now, when we look at this position that we are up, specifically on this one, we are up 1% so far. I want to show you kind of why too, like technically we would purchase. So oil U, we've seen it historically bounce right here at this price level. And simply put, there's a couple ways to approach this, right? You can, when we're at a support and we're looking to buy, like this position that I just entered at this support that I'm going to anticipate could shoot up, which if it did, let's just take a look at what that would be. So again, the margin for profit, if it went up to previous levels, which we've seen it reach, let's just like do a little forecast on the past. When it's reached this level in the past, it's a 76% increase. So that's kind of like my trade. I'll be more conservative and what have you, and how I see oil. So now what that means, therefore, right? I could have, like, for example, you could buy oil right when you see it hit the trend line that it's previously been at, right? But here's the problem with that. If you buy when it's just trending down and you say, I'm going to buy, it's right at the support line, then it could continue down and you could lose, 11%. So some people might say, Will, you got in late on oil because it already pushed up today. Well, if we look on the 1 day, it did already push up. And my purchase price was $31.19. So I was kind of like already up here. And you might say, Will, like that's already up there. Well, there's a couple things. Okay. A couple things before, we get ahead of ourselves. On the long term to near term, we're still right at the support, as you saw. But also, I wanted to wait to see that confirmation that we're going to push up above the moving average, the 200-day moving average, that we were going to be using this EMA as a support. And I wanted to make sure that it got in at a price that I could say, hey, it's really confirming that it could be breaking out. And that simple indication that I was looking for was a break above this previous resistance. That's what I was looking for. And so my purchase price of $31.19, right after it really confirmed its break above this resistance, I had purchased somewhere here, and I wrote a little bit of like a maybe 0.5% or like 0.2% loss, and now we've seen it push back up. Again, we're about 1% on the day, but I could see this one going to previous highs that we've seen in the past, and so that's why I'm here. And I think there's a lot of fundamentals that back that up. So we go from here again. If we see it get up to previous highs, that's 23%. If we look on maybe the longer term outlook of oil U, because this could be a swing trade, and we see it get up to where it's previously gotten to this resistance, that's like 68%. So again, in retrospect, it's not a terrible entry. Maybe on the day, on the short term, could be, but we'll see. I'm going to be monitoring it. Just thought I'd give you guys a close look at how that looks. We had a couple other stocks we went over. Palantir has been consolidating, but pushed up a little bit intraday. It's been an interesting one. We saw it push up, kind of sold back off, and now it's pushing up again. I don't know. They got earnings at the end of today, and that'll be an interesting company. But aside from that, guys, that's going to do it for our live session. If you guys enjoyed and you want to watch me trade live and get to see this decision that we made on Oil U before it even happens, then I would encourage you guys to check out StockMate. We have an expiring coupon code in that second link in the description, so it's going to be going away. And if you want to watch me trade live and get access to all of our mastery courses on using investing platforms like Robinhood, technicals, fundamentals, and how to invest in companies, then I would encourage you to check out, again, that second link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.